Okay, so the leaders, you mentioned your leader. We'll start with this group. We'll start with the group here. Your leader, and then you have 60 seconds to make sure that you deliver something that we can understand that is life-changing. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sheila at Haile. We have shared a topic about personal growth. Largely, personal growth is all about having choices in life and you go by your choices. Then secondly, when it comes to age, it doesn't mean that people have grown. You can be grown in age, but the level of understanding is totally different. Probably you understand, we always say, you understand like a child. And we have to embrace growth. When you embrace growth, you chase it. When you chase it, because here you go on learning different things to put into what you want. Here you connect what you're chasing with your choices that comes within your personal growth. Then secondly, you embrace it. You embrace it and love it and go by it. Then lastly, but not least, have a plan as a person when you're growing up and move by your plan. Because to some extent, we just grow far, like we don't mind whether we are going up to where. So let's have a plan as you're embracing your personal growth. Thank you.
Okay, I'm using my stopwatch, and she went for 59 seconds. 59 seconds. But again, just she's fresh from speaking. I want us to be very honest. Did you understand? Was it life-changing? Sorry? How many of us say you learned something from what she said? You learned something from what she said? Now, do you see that we are different people in the audience, right? There are people that will decipher quickly what you're talking about. There are people who will not pay attention about what you're talking about, okay? There are people who will be preoccupied. So in the least minutes that you are given to speak or to impact an audience, you should be very careful to make sure that you capture the attention of everyone that is in the house. Okay? Because I will decide in the first 30 seconds whether I'm going to give you my attention or I am going to be on or I'm going to play a game on my phone. Yeah. People play games. While you're there speaking, you're thinking, oh, I'm speaking life-changing things. My friend, they're only changing you. Okay? So that means that while you prepare yourself to speak in any kind of environment, whether it's in the boardroom, whether it's even with your husband. Have you heard people who say a lot but nga temuli? You've heard, like for a long time, ayogera. Nenga, you look for a point, no gambane, where did they make a point? Ngobadde ogamba otya? Ayogeredde okumala essaawa nnamba and oyagala mubuuza abadde agamba atya. And someone speaks for 30 seconds or 60 seconds or just a few minutes, but again, it's so life-changing. You jump away or you go away with an important thing, okay? Let's go to the second group.
My name is Jonathan, and here we have discussed about attitude. And then we have said that your attitude is going to determine how you are going to handle the situation. That the attitude that you have when you are handling the situation is going to determine a lot about the outputs you are going to get at the end of the day. Once you have a good attitude, then chances are very, very high that the outcomes are going to be good. And when you have a bad one, still the outcome will be bad. And when we looked at even how we are going to connect with the people, if your attitude is there, even your connecting with people is going to be bad. It's not going to be good. So it is always good, even when the odds are not in your favor, go with the good attitude. The results are going to be good in most of the cases. So that's what we have had in our group here. 54
seconds, okay? How many of us got something out of his talk? Okay, we seem to have been more more involved and more attentive. Thank you so much. And we didn't mention the group, the names in the group, but it's okay. Let's keep that part. I think I want to be able to nail the importance of preparation when you're going to speak, okay? And then number 2, the simplicity and shortness, the preciseness and the kiss. You know, the shortness and the preciseness. You get to the point. Anaye Mukama yatonda abakyala. Tuyinza okwogera ne twekoloobya, ne twogera ebyeri, ne twogera ebyeri, naye nga tutegeeza birala nnyo, ne bye tutegeeza tetubyogedde. And then the temptation to bring the same scenario in a public speaking scenario, is very high. Unless you're just liberated and you're well prepared and maybe you've been well mentored and then you know exactly what to do. You can beat around the corner until, you know, no one picks anything, but they've watched you. Okay? So I want us to put that into, when you go to network with someone, you've gone to shake their hands, you're telling them their names. Have you encountered people, someone comes to network with you, nakukoya bukoya. Nogande kamu nawe, like, mpamu kagapu, akutayiza, byayogera tebigenda, olaba yabalala bewandi networkinze nabo naye akumalidde obudde ali awo. Bagamba, kankubuuzeeyo ne kano. Nakubuuza, oluusi nno tebikwatagana. Oba nze njogera n'abantu nzekka. Have you met people aboogera ebitakwatagana? You were there, you put on your lipstick, you showed up, and then you're like, oh, hi, I'm so and so, and then so and so, and then you want to, ate abagala okunetworkinga mu luzungu bannange. You want to keep it simple and straight to the point. And then someone just comes and gives you, you know, especially if they get to know that you're a coach or a counselor. Hey, who is with me? Someone comes and then you tell them, oh, I'm a coach and a counselor. And then they tell you, now, I remembered I have this problem. So, keeping your message short. Abakwana. Waliwo omuntu yali akukwanyeko n'onyiga bunyizi? For bachala, no nyiga. They just don't know how to line up their words, where they start from the last things and then end up with the first things. Like, you're confused, Lwakuba, God created women, even when they are confused, they are on top of their game. Because they've been told to stay calm. They've been told to behave like a woman. They've been told to... So you end up being patient. Most of the women, they will never walk away. But you will say so many things until some of the guys have come to me and say, but what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, nebo ogendo yogera bichi. Agendo kubulia bya yogera banange. As far as east is from the west, tebikwatagana. Okay? So communication should be precise. And actually, why we are still on that, because communication ekwata kufena, okay? The different calibers of people, whether you sell in the market, whether you sell in the corporate world, whether you sell wherever you are, remember we are in the business of selling ourselves every day, okay? So, communicating, there is someone who was asking me, I think we were celebrating a friend's anniversary recently, and someone asked me a question, but why is it, and it was a man. He was like, you know what, I get confused about women. And this is a very mature man, a very, like a diplomat in this country. I was like, I am really confused. A woman will say one thing and they mean another. Like, you ask them, are you okay? And they will tell you you're okay. For us, when you tell me that you're okay, I take it that you're okay. But before I know it, you're not saying hi. Before I know it, we are passing by in the corridor and nothing is being said. Or una, or kontola. Like, hey, but what's the problem? And so I had to dig the history of where this communication issue actually comes from. As a woman, you've been told that speaking direct is either disrespectful, okay, or you are extravagant. Because when you ask for money, then you're extravagant. As in at every corner. When you ask for more kameza money, then tomanyi kukekereza ngo muchala. Toja kuzimba maka. So at all corners, we have been cornered by culture that we are not supposed to speak certain things. That even when you mean it, okay? And so this is what happens. We say something different, and then we go back and cry. we go back and expect a different kind of answer. You got silent treatment. Half the time, all the gentlemen, if you're here, you will testify. All the gentlemen get puzzled about silent treatment. Because half the time, they don't know how to approach it. While women, we are the geniuses. The geniuses. Why? Because then you want him to be a mind reader, to know what annoyed you, so that he will come in a proper manner to come and tell you exactly what you want to hear, or to even hold you. Some people go for silent treatment because they want their man to hold them in a certain way, or to even say certain things, or to give them certain things. But for him, he's like, so they will think about mutua, things, thousands of things. And then he fails to figure it out. He ignores you. He goes and watches football. And then you're like, Saba gambeta for you. No kunjagala tachanjagala. But we fail at communication, okay? And both sides, okay? Because even some men are out of touch with reality and their emotions. So they've been brought up to be the macho men. You know it all, so you can't be vulnerable. So you know you can't show emotions. You know you can't cry. So aliawo. Na kolashi na zimba ngalinga sekoko, you know. But communication is so simple. Just like we said, 60 seconds. In the 60 seconds, what can you say? Be authentic. Mean what you say. Okay? It's not easy. I see some women who are saying, if we said everything that we want, my friend, we will not be in these marriages and these relationships. How many of you believe that? If you said everything that you feel, you will not be in a marriage or a relationship. How many of us? It's many of us who feel like that, by the way. So what do? You suppress your needs, you suppress your authenticity, and then you present a different picture, a fake picture of you. A fake picture who uses small money, a fake picture who doesn't need money, a fake picture who doesn't need a suit of 500,000, a fake picture of a woman who said, sima yemitwala asa twemala. Bakugamba nyumba chijo yagala okubera mukasta kubera kaka store n'akafumbiro. N'akayigo. We speak things that we don't even intend to live by. And then this is what happens, by the way. And now that I have thought about it right now, the reason as to why we have a rise of so many single women is because she feels, in my space, I can do anything I want. I can go and hang out and come back at midnight. Thank you very much. I will hold a phone of 2 million, even when we don't have money. Even when I don't know where the school fees is going to come from. And women, we are the best at having faith. You will use what you have knowing tomorrow nja kufuna endala. Lero no teka mwaka viri ka milioni. No teka muka Brazilian no kanyenyako no kawuliramu. Nenga toyina zikutambuza. Kwa gamba you live by, but be under in a home somewhere. My friend, you will live a reality kind of life. Oja kukekereza, I'm not saying it's bad, but I want us to be the authentic selves. But do you know what's going to make you authentic? Work hard. Wanji, do you know what's going to make you authentic? Work. It's easy to say ngenda gula Brazilian ngo ino bukade butano ogenda kozako bubiri. Wanji? It's easy okugamba mwana tumtwale mu somero lino. Why? Because now so a center you can what? You can contribute. Okay? And it's easy okugamba nti ezempisa tezijja kola makagano. Bameka kumwa abachala basolo kyogere ekyo. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bameka abagamba nti chikoma lero or otherwise. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. Like seriously, you are a human being that has blood and you have feelings. But there is no way, not in a disrespectful way, definitely, but when someone crosses the line, how many of us can communicate and articulate our expectations without any fear? Now, where do the most of us belong? Bakugamba, wa mateka, nenda towa mateka. You get it? Towa mateka, but be respectful. And just like that applies even to the guys. And I've said it so many times, that gentlemen in this country are suffering, but none of us knows because they cry under the tables. For us women, we can kujanjawaza, but men, they cry under the tables. So when you put your cards on the table and you say, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in this, you're not giving ultimatums. You're saying that there is something I do not want in my life. And if you do something I don't want, it has consequences. Some of you are saying, Wanange. Where is the other? We have the last group, right? We have another group there. Who is representing? Please go ahead.
My name is Emily. So what is the most important relationship in your life? Do you think you're good enough to deserve that relationship? Or you think you have to work hard to be part of that relationship? Or you think you have to do so much good to deserve that relationship? Or it's a relationship that is an open door. Njagalanga bwindi. Whatever you are, they take it. And that's the most important relationship that we have. The one we have with our Creator. And hope you have it with yourself and your Creator and everybody. Thank you.
She did it under 44 minutes. Sorry, seconds. 44 seconds. Okay? Precise, straight, to the point, but it has left many questions. So that means you can continue thinking about your most important relationship. Okay? And that is very, very important in connecting. Okay? Sometimes we cannot connect all the dots for people, but we are going to leave hanging questions for them to do self-reflection and be able to get the answers themselves, even after they're out of our reach. Okay? You did well. Last group.
Good evening. I'm Wealthy and I've been with Sharon, Priska, Bernice, Agnes, and Malaika. We chose personal growth. Growth does not come from home, growing up every day, like eating food, going to school. We all come from dysfunctional homes. Like we've had traumas, so we deserve to work on our habits, to connect with people in different good ways, and change our entire in and outlook. Thank you.
I can see some people that got lost. I don't know where they got lost from, but apparently they are lost. So the instance of this was tetukoya bantu. When you are connecting, communicating and connecting, make sure that you are straight to the point. For those of you that have been on the mentorship, I think I've given you my criteria and how I speak when I'm invited in a place to speak. I will use 30 minutes. They tell me you have a slot of an hour. I will use 30 minutes for speaking, and then I will have 30 minutes for the Q&A, because I want to be able to handle their own issues and what's going on in their own lives. But how I divide even the 30 minutes, I will make sure that there is a point of action, I'll make sure that there is an example, and I will make sure that there is a point that has been made. So even if I make 3 points, that is it. You didn't come here to slumber. It's not a history class where you're supposed to doze and then wake up and find me speaking about what? Nyungu ya Mawe. No, about Ngoni. No, about Shaka Zulu. No. This is something that is meant to be fun. Connection must be fun. If you connect with have you ever connected with a gloomy person? They are too serious. Like, guys, life is not too serious. Let's not make it too serious. Let's break it down, okay? When have you ever seen someone with a nice, sweet smile when they walk into a room? How does that make you feel? Even when they are straight to the point and wanting to connect, they're like, oh, and they usually have those names. Like which ones? Like what? Wama like who? I'm Cleopatra, and the try you will not even hear it. I'm Cleopatra. And they will extend their hands, shake your hand, and let me tell you, before you know it, before you recover from their beauty and smile, they will have gone to the next person. Wanji? And then some of us are too apologetic. Agamba, sebo mbadde nsaba kubuuzaako. Kakati monsonyiwa okuyingira mu mboozi yammwe. Let me tell you, you have grown to this magnitude, okay? Every one of us here is a grown-up person. How many of us believe that we are grown-up people? That we deserve respect, okay? that we cannot sell ourselves short. We must be confident when you show up. And a person that shows up, having confidence is one thing, and the way you're dressed is another thing. Because the way you're dressed, when we look at you, you look different, and then you're kuba kwekaza. Omuntu ali confident na inga yamba debula laba yekaza. That is how we read it. But wojango oyamba deno like nechigenda mumaso, or you look good, in other words, and you are confident, then we're like, she's going to add value to me. There is a way we are attracted to you. Okay? So that means in connecting with people, your appearance matters. Your appearance greatly matters. Oh, golodeko. You know? Did you even chew a gum when you were going to speak to someone? Or do you have a mouth freshener? You can have a mouth freshener. Okay? Did you come ngengo yezeko nzamasanyalaze gavuddeko gwabera na excuse all the time anga nairero wabadde ki owanga masanyalaze waffe tegaliyo. Pick your cloth, go to the door, let them iron and put it on and go. You get it? Don't give any excuses. If you're a lady, oyamba dakaledi gakakulukuta kakomeno. Etiquette is something very important, okay? And then if you're a man, sambala, like, me, I don't know how to match colors. Naira mama, no yambala indigo, no teka ko bagundi, pinky, no te kwegamba chichicho. Ogendo tunulire enviri tomanyi oba marine oba kati oba chikwegamba nga toyina bo chikategorizinga naye nga musajja naye yashowinze up. When you look at the face, the pimples, you know, the pus. Have you seen people that have pimples and pus when you're talking to them? You have seen them, right? I can't be alone in Kampala, my friends. I can't be the only one seeing people. Eh? Yes, I know acne can happen to all of us. You get it? But at least scrub your face, you know? If you can't go for a facial, maybe a facial is very expensive, look at the mirror and make sure that you look good and presentable. Okay? You cannot connect with anyone. Let me tell you, I am here, but you're looking at different things. Wanji? Chatutonde, right? It's in the human nature. Omusajja ujja okukwano ojja mutunulira kuva kaviri nga bwe zaasiiwuka omutunulire ku ngato nga bwe kigege oba atambudde embaliga. You will look at everything. Now some of us are like njagala nga bwendi tewali agenda kwagala nga bw'oli. No one is going to connect with you at that level. And then if you want certain things, you must be able to up your standard so you can be able to meet those things. So dress like you are already there. You want to be a millionaire, dress like a millionaire. You want to look confident, dress the part. Okay? Make sure that you show up ready to actually go through that. Okay, so last time we said that connecting is the ability to identify with people, relate to them in a way that increases your influence over them. Let me tell you, we are also very selective about who we influence. There are people that are influenceable. Wanji? But there are people, have you ever seen someone that, you know what, if I give this person my time, something good is going to come out of this person. Okay? When we go to the low achievers, they are preoccupied with their own security. Have you seen people who are preoccupied with their own security? Now, those people, baberanga nsomba byuma. They pull everything to themselves. Tewali sente bayitako. They charge things highly. Buli kaseera bagamba mama season eddako bw'enebeera embi. Let me maximize in this season. You've seen such people? Like they're always perturbed about their security. I have seen people who are like that. To the extent one of them did not want the wife to give birth to other children. And I was like, you know what? And then the wife is saying, Banange, I can't just give birth to one child. And the man is like, but when we get taking them to school, it's going to be so hard, you know, and you know, never been yigiramu. Okay? So, let me tell you, the difference between low achievers and high achievers is not money. It's not money. A low achiever can have a lot of money, but they do not have happiness in their lives. They are minded about security. And a person who is minded about security, I think Tim usually gives me that analogy of there are so many times where we have sold land, and he has told me, I remember back then, even before we got married, at some point he sold land, and then he was like, you know what, I can't sleep with this money in the house. And so I was like, now we must devise ways. And like to me, I'm like, yeah, so who knew that? I was like, all the brokers know that I actually received money. They will actually, come. They can choose to come from. For me, I didn't even have an idea that, by the way, the broker, the same one that, like, I wasn't that too careful. But when he mentioned it, I saw sense in that. But my friend, that money made people have sleepless nights. Till morning, I'm thinking, You get it? But where money is, your heart is. Even the Bible says that where your riches are, your heart is. But again, your riches should never, like, kumala munyo. Do you get it? You should be able, yes, to protect your things, but again, you should not be able to live life of wunkenke and being egocentric for the rest of your life. It does not pay. So, the too much money, there are those who are sleeping, nenga, tebalina, okay? They are working towards being better. And there are those who have it and they're not sleeping. Okay? So that analogy, when they explained it to me, I was like, binevye kwera ne sente nga tosobola kwebaka. Njagala mbere ne sente naye nga nebaka. Okay, let's go back to high achievers optimistically. Okay, they view subordinates optimistically. When you're optimistic about someone, you want to support them, right? When you're optimistic, who else understands this? Because if you're optimistic about someone, you want to give them a chance. You want to give them a benefit of doubt. You would want to raise maybe their kamani. You would want to increase you would want to think about them as a human being that has a future. I would want to think, for example, in the position that I am in, and I usually look at some of these people, my staff, and I'm like, nayali no muchala na abana. You get it? As aina jaddanga ino kudda n'akaveera. And I'm thinking at the end of the year, you can't work without an increment. You get it? Because our needs keep changing. And I'm not going to wait for you to come to me. Yes, you can come to me, but I will have that. When you are a high achiever, I know that where I want my children to have nice things is the way my employee wants their children to have good things. The way I want my children to go to nice schools is the way my employee wants their children to go to a good school. Does it mean I'm going to give them everything? No. You get it? Because maybe I work with a budget, but I will be very thoughtful. And guess what? Whenever there is a gig, I will throw it at them. I'll be like, you know what? If I give you this extra work, I'm going to pay for it. Or there is someone who needs this, I will recommend my own. Why? Because I want to put more money into their pocket. So I'm optimistic about them. Okay? And being optimistic, I see a future. Okay? So high achievers have that. Remember, we're talking about connecting. You cannot connect without caring about people. So even when you have... for example, I told my housemaid that give me this number of years, and after you give me this number of years, once that child turns this number of years, I am going to take you back to vocational school, and I'm going to make sure that in Kampala, my home is going to be your home. Even if you ever get married and you're coming to just visit, you will have a room in my house. And I meant it. Because she has been so good to me. I'm optimistic about her future. I am not just using her to bring up my children, and then after that I dump her. You get it? I know that she will have children of her own. Even when I'm speaking to her, even when she has done a mistake, I'm like, you would not want another person to do that to your child. So the seeds that you sow in this house, you will reap. Be careful what you sow. And that is enough to turn them around and behave like they are second mothers to my children. Why? Because they see a future. So you cannot use people. You must connect to people. Okay?